Thank you very much, and thank you to Wayne for that introduction, but more particularly, thank you to Wayne from me personally for everything he's done over the last 7 days, and thank you from the nation for everything he's done over the last 5 years. Your Labor Treasurer, a great Queenslander. Thank you, Wayne. Can I acknowledge too Jenny McAllister, our National President, Dick Williams, your State President, and Anthony Chisholm, your State Secretary, my Queensland Federal Labor team in the audience today. Can I also acknowledge Anastasia Palaszczuk and the State Caucus, and perhaps most importantly of all, the 40 lifelong true believers that we will honour today. Thank you for your service to the Labor Party. It's good to be amongst friends at the end of what has been a long and sad week. I want to, through you, thank the Labor family for all of the expressions of condolence and support that I and my family have received at this difficult time. My father, John, was a great Labor man. He came... Thank you. He came from the coal mining valleys of Wales. He came from a life of hardship, and he came with hope and courage and determination to make a life here in this wonderful land of opportunity. And he found that opportunity. He found a vocation that he loved as a psychiatric nurse, providing care and concern and support for others, to people who needed that support the most. He believed in public service. He always believed how important it was for people to give their lives to public service and to do good for others. He believed in opportunity and the sharing of it. He had received opportunities in this country, but he never wanted to close the door behind him. He wanted to see that opportunity shared. He was a Labor man through and through. He believed in Labor, he believed in me, he believed in you, and your recognition of his passing has been truly heartwarming for me. Thank you. Friends, I am particularly glad to meet with you here this weekend as you gather with a great purpose for Queensland, the long march back. Proud of your achievements in office over 14 years, humbled by the judgment of the people and the state you serve, more willing than ever to fight the good fight, and absolutely determined to offer Queensland the choice of a good Labor government in 2016. Because after this week, you don't need me to tell you, Queenslanders deserve better than this. Queenslanders deserve better than this because the human cost of the LNP's state budget is absolutely dreadful. 14,000 Queensland jobs will be lost because of the decisions of just a few. And it seems that everybody in this state knows someone who is fearing for their job today. So Queensland Labor has a great responsibility to fight these job cuts, to fight this Conservative government, to give Queenslanders hope, to offer them a real choice at the next state election. And Queenslanders do want a real choice. They're taking a long, hard look at what the LNP and government really means. Even Clive Palmer is starting to have his doubts. And you know the ship is going down pretty fast when the bloke who wants to resurrect the Titanic is seen leaving it. But problems with the Titanic are problems for Clive, not us. Our job's clear, and it's to govern well and it's to govern for all. And as federal leader, I can tell you, we meet here with another great responsibility for our whole nation, and it's your responsibility particularly. You will be on the front line of the fight come 2013. For my part, I can promise you this. We are giving you a Labor program to work for, a plan for our nation you will be proud to fight for, a plan you will be proud to defend. Your Labor government is building this nation's future, day by day, piece by piece, a future that will see Australians as the winners in this century of growth and change in the region in which we live, a future of cleaner energy, access around the nation to the infrastructure of the future, to high-speed broadband, a future of higher skills leading to higher paid jobs, a future of opportunity and prosperity which we can build together and share together. Your Labor government is delivering today as we build for tomorrow, a strong economy, a budget surplus, job creation, fair workplace laws where your rights at work are protected for the future, expanded ports, new railways and roads, extra support for families and for small businesses, higher super, paid for by the returns from the minerals every Australian owns, higher pensions, help for carers, more choice and security in care for all of our people as they age. And delegates, next year, when you walk the streets and knock on the doors, and even when you climb trees to hang posters and stand on highways with wobble boards, you'll be able to say this: a vote for Labor in 2013 is a vote for a national disability insurance scheme. Delegates, you know that nothing could be more natural for Labor than this plan. The disability system we have today is unfair, it's underfunded, it's fragmented and it's inefficient, and we can fix it. At COAG in July, we saw just how hard this will be. Without leadership from Labor governments, it will never get done. At the end of that COAG meeting, only your federal Labor government and Labor in South Australia, Tasmania and the ACT had agreed to launch the NDIS in launch sites. It took days of public pressure and private talks to get the Conservatives in New South Wales and Victoria to agree to help. And delegates, the LNP here in Queensland still has not agreed. Campbell Newman must not be allowed to draw a Brisbane line through the NDIS. And we... And delegates, I can assure you, we, the women and men of Labor, won't let him. We will give people with disabilities a better deal. We are going to get this done. Delegates, our commitment to care for Australians with disability reflects our essential Labor passion that no one should be left behind. Australians are entitled to know that in times of hardship, government has got their back. And Labor governments always have. In times of economic turbulence, like the global financial crisis, you can rely on Labor to protect our nation. In times of personal need, when you fear you may fall, in sickness, with disability, you can rely on Labor to build the safety net that will catch you. But people look to us for more. And as Labor believers, we understand our Labor cause runs even deeper. Labor is always the party that strives to create and share hope and opportunity. So our vision for education reflects our deepest dreams for every child, our fundamental Labor drive to ensure that everyone can get ahead. So you can say this out on the stump every day next year: a vote for Labor is a vote for a national disability insurance scheme, and delegates, you will be able to say this too: a vote for Labor is a vote to give every child hope and opportunity and to improve every school in our nation. Delegates, all my life I've been conscious of being the lucky one, the one who got access to education. It transformed my life. But even going to a great school, and I did go to a great school, I went to Unley High School in South Australia. Even in that great school, I saw education's full power denied to some of my schoolmates. The life-changing unfairness of being robbed of a great education has always struck me as a moral wrong. I know you feel that too, and together we are on a national crusade for change. A moral imperative fuels our crusade, but it's teachers and the principals who show us our line of march from here. Queensland schools, public, Catholic and independent, are full of great teachers and leaders. And this morning, Angelo, who leads the Australian Education Union, introduced me to some of the public system's best, and I'd like to acknowledge them now. I saw Margaret Gurney from Goodness State School. I actually saw her again. We first met in 2011 after the floods. Half the children in her primary school come from the poorest quarter of Australian homes. Many are Indigenous, and Margaret focused on lifting Indigenous achievement at her school. Regular health checks, oral language development, greater awareness in the school as a whole of those kids and their needs. She created adult education classes so the parents, the kids' most important learning coach, are confident themselves. I met Corinne McMillan from Glenala State High School in Durack. This was a tough school in a tough area. It took a terrific principal to lift it up, and she is a terrific principal. Working with the local Vietnamese community, bringing on a Pacific liaison officer, offering breakfast at school events, getting parents involved and doing a great job with Indigenous kids. Building a school where all kids turn up with their homework done, where more kids are staying on to Year 12, more kids are going on to TAFE, and lots more are going on to university. Corinne and her school richly deserve the recognition they got yesterday following the publication of the NAPLAN results. I met Andrew Thompson this morning from Ipswich West Special School, a brilliant and compassionate man who told me that with the right support from government, his school can genuinely teach children with the most profound disabilities and can create real opportunities for children to seize the potential they have in life. And I've been privileged to meet so many others. I already know Lou Poulger from Redbank Plains High School. We met at Community Cabinet in July when we had it at his high school. And he's here with Tony Maksud from Berrimba East State School and Belinda Levers from Loganlea State High School and Jodie Stevens from Kruger State High School and Ros Broud and the Gonski mums you can see lined up on the wall. I could keep naming great teachers, great principals and parents who care all day, but I do want to say this to you, friends. I've been proud to work with them to change children's lives, to give children hope and to give them opportunity. My school, the Low SES Partnership, literacy and numeracy work, teacher quality, computers in schools, building the education revolution, national curriculum, Teach for Australia, lifting standards for every child in every school, equipping them for the jobs of the future. So, Margaret and Corinne and Andrew and Lou, they are the people who can tell you what difference all of this has made. Ask them when you see them outside today. Ask them about the kids in prep who are reading better, the young girls who are doing science in new labs and maths on the computer, the teenage boys who are staying longer in school. Ask them about the Queensland families whose kids are now aiming for apprenticeships and degrees for well-paid, skillful work. These are our great principals and teachers. In our great national crusade to improve schools, they carry the banner high. Working with them, we know from them what has already been achieved. We know what can transform the lives of children. If you give one child a better education, you change a life. If you give every child a better education, you change a nation and you change the future. Delegates, through our children, we can change our future. We can be a stronger and fairer country. For every child, for every school, for our nation's future, delegates, we are going to get this done. We will dedicate our nation to make sure we get back in the top 5 schooling systems in the world in 2025. Why should Australian kids fall behind? We will commit our nation to a national school improvement plan which will achieve that great goal for our children. We will lift teacher quality, give more power to principals, more information to parents, and we will fund Australian schools in a way that puts a child's needs at the heart of our funding decisions. And to those Liberals who say no, who want to see cutbacks for our schools rather than our schools being at the cutting edge, we are gathered here today to say to them, we will fight you, we will beat you, we are going to get this done. Delegates, our plan to care for Australians with disability, it's a great Labor plan. Our plan to improve schools, it's a great Labor plan. And you know what the other side always says about great Labor plans. First, it's a bad idea. Then, it's a good idea, but it costs too much. And then finally they say, oh no, we'd never get rid of it. Honest. Just one thing. They might just need a quick commission of audit to check over the books. And then delegates, if they win, they bring down their first budget, and I think you know how the story goes from here. Delegates, here in Queensland, the cost in jobs is already shockingly clear. But as Labor people, we also are genuinely shocked by the kind of values these cuts reveal. We're a party of government. We deliver budgets. We know it's hard. We make tough decisions to bring a budget to surplus. We did that. We continue to do that. Those decisions are being made in Canberra right now. And when we do that, when we make those tough decisions, we prove that if you have the right values, the right priorities, you can budget responsibly and help the people who need it most. We know you can because that's what we've done. Our budget is coming to surplus and we've cut taxes for working Australians. But what we don't ever do is conduct ourselves like the Conservatives who enjoy delivering the cuts. These blokes who crow about it and crack jokes about it and lick their lips as they do the dirty work and who show their true values in the cuts they deliver. They've cut the rural fire service, the ultimate frontline service. They've cut palliative care, help for the dying. They've cut the children's guardian. The name says it all. They've cut domestic violence services. They've even dismantled Breast Screen Queensland. Now, delegates, that was a cut so brutal that when I first read it in the newspapers, I thought it was a mistake. I just couldn't believe it. and I still don't want to believe it now. But those cuts are telling you the difference between our values and theirs. Labor governments cut millionaires' dental schemes, Liberal governments sack ambulance officers. That's the difference. Delegates, Newman's budget raiser is Tony Abbott's curtain raiser. Never forget that. Labor, we bring budgets to surplus responsibly, carefully, cutting waste, getting the priorities right. The Liberals and Nationals always cut too much, and they always cut the wrong things. They devastate families, damage businesses, hurt communities. Understand this. Tony Abbott and Campbell Newman are following the same game plan every hour, every day. Oppositions which just say no never achieve good things for working people. Conservative oppositions which just say no are using that one short word to hide a plan for cuts to services. And that's why I say to you today, the people of Queensland, you do now have a special responsibility to Australians as a whole. You, the people in this hall, the men and women of Queensland Labor, you will be fighters on the front line next year, but you are already more than that. You are the sentries who can tell Australians what's at risk, what could be coming. You've seen it. Tell your story. Make sure they know. Every working Australian must know in 2013 what happened in Queensland in 2012. In 2013, Australians will have a choice, a clear choice between two visions of our nation's future. Do you want a high-wage, high-skill, high-value-add society where everyone gets a chance, or a race to the bottom, cutting wages, cutting conditions, everyone going backwards, the weakest scrambling for $2 a day? Do you want a budget surplus, job creation, a strong economy, or a downward spiral of cuts, job losses and decline? Do you want progressive government informed by reason with a plan for the future, or a regime of aggression and negativity with a secret plan for cuts? You know my answer, I know your answer. Delegates, carry this message to the nation in 2013, at every door, on every corner, over every back fence, in every front bar. If you want a national disability insurance scheme, you must vote Labor. If you want a plan for school improvement, you must vote Labor. If you want a stronger and a fairer future, you must vote Labor. And as every Queenslander knows today, if you want jobs, not job cuts, you must vote Labor. Friends, I'm looking to you, the nation's looking to you. The fight is on, it's the fight of our lives. Let's get out and win it. Thank you very much.